Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today I thought I would do a what is in my emergency baby bag video. I have got my daughter sat next to me. She has been fussy all day and I have been trying to do this video for literally 7 hours so far, or 7 and a bit hours. And yes, I counted it. So my partner is putting my toddler to bed and I'm sat with my daughter hoping that the sound of my voice is going to be enough to keep her calm enough for this video. So I have my bag here. This is my general everyday baby bag that I use. Just like to kind of point this out, this isn't what I take out if I plan to go out, but this is what I have in my bag on a 24-hour basis basically, so that I know if I do have an emergency that I can just grab it and go. If I forget to pack a bag or something for a doctor's appointment, or like if we, I mean obviously we're not going to at the moment, but if we want to go out for like an hour with the baby, I can just grab it and go, and it's there, and we've got all the like necessary items should something happen. The reason that I do this, I mean, it's kind of common sense to do it anyway, but my son was a very poorly baby. He did have a few emergencies, some of them were the middle of the day, some of them were the middle of the night, and I do get nervous about it. I had major anxiety with him, so now I always make sure that I have a fully stocked bag, which I double check and update every Saturday because I am just that kind of person, and I sterilise the bottles every Saturday as well. So anyway, without further ado, let's get to it. So I always have a blanket over my bag anyway. It's just kind of a habit that I've got to have a blanket there, so obviously we've got that with us. On the outside pocket, I'll show you. So we've got a bag like this, we've got an outside pocket, and we've got kind of two main pockets there. We do have a back pocket, but I don't really use it. So on the outside, I always have hand sanitizer. That isn't just because of everything at the moment. I have always had this and always will have this, just because, again, with my son, I had a lot of anxiety around illnesses and things with him because he was ill so frequently, and it did make me a little bit paranoid about like when people would come up and coo over him and everything like that, and I'd kind of be like, use the hand gel if you want to come near my child. So yeah, anyway, so I have the two sections of my bag. This is basically the feeding and medication section, and this is the like changing and clothes section. In short, I mean there is more, but we'll get into that. So I always make sure I have 4 nappies. I mean it's too bright for you to see, but we do have 4 nappies in there. Always have a full pack of wet wipes. This one's kind of half full now, so I will be updating that this Saturday. We have Bepanthen and Sudocrem. Now, the problem that I find is that with Sudocrem, if either of my babies had this, but if they had actually split or they were like dark red, the Sudocrem would make it worse. So I always have both. If they're a little bit pink, or if they're getting like a rash on their face or something, I pop Sudocrem on that and it's great. But I normally use Bepanthen for my little girl's nappy because that just seems to work a lot better. I'll try and link a video for this down below, or I can make a video, but I made this, which is basically a jar full of nappy bags. You basically just roll up the nappy bags in a certain way so that when you pull them out, you get a new one like that, kind of like your wet wipes work. I can show you how to do that. It was pretty easy. This is just an old jam jar that I literally just stabbed with a knife in a cross, folded like the metal over, and then put duct tape around that on the inside to stop the bags ripping and stop there being sharp edges. So I always have that with me. You can make it with toilet rolls and stuff if you don't want to carry glass around, but I'm not that fussy. We also always have 2 main outfits. So at the moment I have like a tutu dress with a pair of tights, and I have a long sleeve top with a pair of leggings just in case, because you never know the weather in the UK. And I always carry a onesie as well, just a basic onesie. If it's winter I will put like a baby vest underneath. But right now, obviously, it is way too hot for that. And she's just like me. She gets really, really hot really, really fast. So I'd rather bundle her up in blankets so I can easily take them off than have to completely strip her down. We also have a hooded cardigan. This is actually one that my mum made for my son. So my daughter now uses it. I absolutely love it. We didn't know what we were having with my son. So she made it unisex. Obviously it's pink and blue and it's absolutely gorgeous and has a little giraffe on it. So I'm making the most out of this one while we can use it. And because it's got a hood on it, it kind of saves me having to bring hats along. And this is a pair of booties that I'm thinking about my son, that my daughter's great grandma made for her, which are, again, absolutely adorable. That side of the family are kind of major crochet people, so they always make like really beautiful little items. So at the moment, that's what I've got in my bag. Obviously, as she grows, I'll update it when I do my cycle through all of her clothes, because I will kind of have a day where I'll go through every single item of clothes that she has, and I'll basically look at the labels and go, right, that's too small, this is too small, whatever. I normally remember what's like still okay, what's sized wrong and things like that as I go through it. But I do the bag at the same time so that it doesn't get too out of date. In this side, I actually do also have, because she has laryngomalacia, which basically means she's got a floppy larynx. And when she was very little, she was having a lot of problems with like her mucus. She couldn't clear it very well because the flap kept closing when she was trying to clear it. So I do have I know it's not the best idea to have it in a bag, but it's what works for us. But we have some saline drops. I've got a nasal spray in there, which is like the Calpol nasal spray. And we have a basic nasal aspirator. Sorry, rustling. But just in case we do have any problems, we haven't had to use it since she was like born, but I like to have it because I know from experience with my son how quickly a baby can get poorly, and it really doesn't take very long, so it's good to have that just in case. So that's one side of my bag. Let me just double check I haven't missed anything, because I don't think I have, no. So let's go into the other side of my bag. I know you can't see, but this is like the only way I can set it up. Hello, Mrs. I actually have, I've been looking for these, which is quite ironic, but I have her gummy glove and her teething ring in the bag. I guess I kind of went into auto drive and put them in the bag because I like to have them somewhere I can find them, but I forgot that I did that. So I've been looking for these all day. So her gummy glove is amazing. It does have the ring you can put on top, and it is the branded gummy glove, teething glove, which I do recommend to most people. I mean, she tends to chew her actual fish. She like swaps over, but she does love the crackle of this more than anything. And for those who have the patience for this, this is a sensory teething ring, but I don't know if you can see, but it kind of has like bristles, like one of those really super soft silicone toothbrushes that you can get. And she loves it when I kind of rub this on her gums. And I know when she's teething because it froths when she's like needing it. And she will like shove it in her face and get red marks on the side of her cheeks because she loves this bit, but she can't hold it herself yet. She will be able to soon, but she kind of gets overexcited and flops it sideways. So I have to hold this for her in her mouth, and she absolutely loves it. So I do always have this in reach. As far as I remember, this one isn't able to go through the sterilizer. The gummy glove, the loop can't go in the washing machine, but the gummy glove can, so that's absolutely fine. It's brilliant because I do have a sicky baby, so that's amazing. And this one, I don't think you can sterilise because it has the material bit on it. So personally, I just kind of wash it in the sink with normal dish soap and water, and then I'll pop it in a jug of boiling water and just leave it in there for a little bit to do its thing, same as I would do with dummies if I wasn't at home with the steriliser option. I'd just put it in boiling water and that would be enough for me. I always have 2 cartons of milk. Now, I personally have to use SMA Pro. You may use your breast milk or use a different brand, but this is the only brand that she can kind of cope with. And I say this because she still has quite severe reflux, but it's not as bad as with every other brand, including SMA Advanced. That made her really ill, so I was quite surprised at that. And we use Avent bottles. These we used for my son because he had a lip and tongue tie. He was just like a whole roll of complications, but he had a lip and tongue tie, and these were the only bottles he would latch to. So my automatic reaction when I had my daughter was to get a new set of these. She is now using, in general, bigger bottles because she takes like 6 ounces at a time, sometimes 7, very rarely, but she takes about 6 ounces at a time, and these are only the 4-ounce bottles, but they're ideal to have in your bag because if she is still hungry, you can just top it up with the formula that's in these cartons. They don't need to be chilled until they've been opened, but she'll tend to drink most of a carton anyway. If I think I'm going out for quite a while, I'll tend to take like an ice bag with me so I can just chuck it into that when it's opened. But I'll do another video on like expected outings, if that makes sense. So like when I'm going for a short outing, overnight, or a long outing in general. As I say, this is just my bag that I have in case of an emergency. So I know that these technically won't be sterile after 24 hours. I re-sterilise them every Saturday when I do everything else because Saturday is like my day to do everything. I re-sterilise them every single Saturday. I know that you need to sterilise them more, but again, this is for emergencies. So if I know that I'm going to be going out, I'll quickly sterilise them before I go out, or however it works. But I have them as an option to grab and go should we need to like run to the hospital or something like that. You can normally sterilise in a hospital as well if you are there. They do have sterilisers there, but I think they're normally in the transitional ward, which I was in with my son, and with her when she was first born, and I took my own bottles because I wanted to make sure she could use them. We had to take them down to the transitional ward to sterilise them to then bring them back up again, which is a bit of a faff, but it's an option. So if you're worried about sterilising the stuff, sterilise them every week, or if your child is ill in general, sterilise them then just in case something does get worse. It's always a precautionary thing. It's not perfect, but it is the best option for you, because I'd rather have a old sterilised bottle that has been sealed with the lid on constantly, nothing's been touched on the inside. I'd rather have that for an urgency when she's hungry than not have a bottle to use at the end of the day. So yeah, I have that. I always make sure I have, sorry, my phone's going off now, 2 muslins and 2 bibs. As I said before, I do have a sicky reflux baby. You're right, baby. I do have a sicky reflux baby. My son was a lot worse, but I do have her, so I always make sure that I have these. Of course, if I need more, I will have the wet wipes with me as well if necessary. But normally this will kind of do us in an emergency anyway. I always keep my red book in there. This is your like diary for your baby in the UK at least. I'm not sure about other countries. Let me know in the description, in the comments even down below if it's the same for your country or what you have. But basically this has all of your baby's medical history in it up until they're like in school or something. It'll say what jabs they've had, any emergencies they've had, their weights, their heights, everything is tracked in this. You have it connected between your health visitors, your GPs, your doctors, everyone. So try and keep this with you at all times with your baby, just in case. The hospital may not fill it out, but it's always good to have it because if they have a problem with their systems or anything like computer systems, they've then got the information from this as well. What else do I actually have in here? Oh yeah, I have my like little medical bag. So this is the medication bag that I keep. It's only very small. There isn't a lot in it. It doesn't need to have a lot, but I always have it like clipped onto the bag, and I can unclip it if I need to, but I like to keep it clipped. And in this at the moment, I have a couple of sachets of Gaviscon. As I said, she is a refluxy baby and we are prescribed this, so it's not just me being like me. I keep some glasses wipes in there because I do wear glasses. I don't always wear them for videos, but I do wear glasses all the time, and having a baby and a toddler, they get dirty very quickly, and I'd rather not be blind because I can't see a lot when I don't wear my glasses, and my eyesight's actually getting worse. So I need to make sure they are clean as much as possible. So I do have those in the bag just in case. It's all just in case. We picked up some of this Ashton and Parsons teething gel. I'm not sure if you can see it because it's kind of too bright. But it is a teething gel, but this one has like bristles on the end of it. We always preferred Dentanox, but as far as I remember, they stopped selling it. Something about the anaesthetic in it. But this one is aloe vera based. So we have tried it a little bit, and it's kind of like got little bristles on it, and you squeeze it and it kind of comes out in a pea shape. You kind of rub it onto the bristles and rub it on their gums. We don't use this that often unless she is like desperately bad. We tend to try to go for the granules first, only because they last a lot longer and she prefers them. She doesn't like the bristles of the teething gel. So we always have a couple of teething granules. How we work it, I mean, I think on the description of them, it's really confusing to me because it says like you have to pour it out on a teaspoon and then split it in half, and then you've got to like feed it on the teaspoon to your baby. But in my head, I don't understand how that would work. If you understand it, let me know in the comments down below. But how it works in my head is that they're just going to swallow it and it's just going to numb their throat. So how I've done it with both of my children is I always wash my hands obviously first. If I have a glove, I'll wear a glove, but I don't really use them anymore now that this virus is all going on. So I kind of will dip my finger in her cheek just to get a little bit of moisture in there. Obviously I don't want to use my own if I can help it. Okay, baby. And I'll dip my finger in it, and I've kind of like got used to it now. I used to split it in half on the teaspoon, as they said, or on like a baby spoon because I could sterilize it. So I'd split it in half on there and then give each side of that. But I found that around about 3 to 4 dips of my finger is enough to make half of a sachet, and I'll kind of rub it onto her gums with my little finger, and she seems to prefer that. Oh, and she's been sick. Lovely. Oh, it's only a little bit. It's okay. It's okay. So I kind of rub that on her gums all the way around. When you do the top teeth, it's better to go kind of like up into the gum, because the teeth don't actually come from the bottom of the gum. They come from further up. With your bottom teeth, they kind of like come straight out of the gum, but with your top teeth, they kind of come out the edge of the gum, if that makes any sense. It makes sense in my head, but it may not make sense to you. And I think that's actually it. That is everything that I have in my bag most of the time. Obviously, it does change, as I said, with whether we have a planned outing, whether we're going out for a couple of hours or going out for a day trip, going away or having an overnight at their grandparents, or whatever we're doing, we will change it. But this is just what I have consistently in the bag in case we need to grab and go. So these are all the things I kind of recommend keeping. Obviously use the creams that you would need. Any medications you might use for your baby, you might want to have like some extras there. So if your baby is prone to a certain illness or a certain issue or random fevers, just have that in the bag. Even if it's unopened, as I say, I just have a couple of sachets of the Gaviscon and the teething granules because I know how to use them, so I don't keep the box with me. But if I have someone else needing to give it, then I'll explain to them, and sometimes it'll have it on the sachet anyway. But anyway, my daughter's now fussy, as you might be able to tell, so I'm going to love you and leave you there. Let me know in the comments down below if you like this video, and if you would like me to do any other sort of baby bag type videos. I could, if you wanted, do like a hospital bag video, but obviously I've already had my baby. I think I have a picture of my hospital bag from before, but I'm more than happy to make a video about it. It will just be more of a talking one than anything else, won't it, Mrs.? You gonna say hello? Go, hiya. Hello. Ooh, pretty. I think she's looking above you. But anyway, I love you and leave you, and I'm gonna get this one to bed, and I'll see you later. I love you all. Thanks, guys. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay indoors as much as you can, and I love you all so, so much. Bye, guys.